Assemblymember Harry Bronson Mengtalo. Monroe County Executive Adam Bello. Monroe Community College President Deanna Bernana. And please welcome the 57th Governor of the great state of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Well, what a great day. Thanks everyone for being here today. We're so pleased to be able to recognize you and welcome you to the home of the Tribunes, Monroe Community College here, part of our SUNY system. I am extremely grateful to the governor for her generosity, along with the county executive and others, to support the work of our institution's growth and our investment also in the semiconductor industry. And with those, I would please ask you at this time to join me in welcoming someone we all know who is dedicated to improving the lives of all New Yorkers and is committed to unlocking the innovation and excellence of the Empire State, our very own Governor Kathy Hochul.
Well, good morning. Dr. Bernana, you have done an extraordinary job here. I've been coming here since I was a congressional candidate originally, and then a member of Congress, and this was part of my district, the people you represent here. 23,000 students and growing, and I think that's a credit to your success, but also the way that this institution is leaning so hard into the industries of the future and training our young people to take those jobs that are finally coming to upstate. Let's give our president another round of applause. When I toured this facility when I was in Congress, they made me a little metal flag. The welding students did, and then I took it to Washington with me. And I don't know if you know this, but it had my name. It also had MCC, so I always thought about this institution. I'm proud to keep thinking about this and bringing programming back here and opportunities to showcase what you're doing. And I just want to acknowledge some of the people. You've heard their names, but these are incredible leaders that we are blessed to have here in the Finger Lakes region. And I want to start with our state senator, Jeremy Cooney. Thank you for all the great work you do. There you are over there. Also, Assemblymember Harry Bronson, the dean of our Rochester delegation. Assemblymember Jen Lunsford, Assemblymember Sarah Clark, Assemblymember Demond Meeks, Assemblymember Brian Mengtalo, and of course our county executive Adam Bello and our mayor Malik Evans, who are great friends of mine. And Rochester Chamber of Commerce CEO and President Bob Duffy, who knows a little bit about some of the jobs I've held before. With the support of all of you in this room, we've made significant investments in this region over a number of years. Rock the Riverway, this is a beautiful, exciting place, finally tapping into what was always there, but never people saw the full potential of this part of our city, and really enhancing the waterfront for its tourists and improving the quality of life. And I will digress for a minute, because I often do. One time, my husband and I brought our boat from Buffalo along the Erie Canal, and we said, let's kind of explore the Genesee River, let's see how far we can go. And we anchored as far as we could go. And I was kind of new at this. I tied the ropes around the post at the end, and we stopped in for lunch, had a lovely time. Got a little windy. We come outside, and our boat is almost floating away because I didn't tie the ropes very good. So we're diving off the dock onto the boat and just barely made it. So I have great fond memories of coming down that area. Always a sense of adventure, but also, within last year, 2 years ago, we set aside millions to create the High Falls State Park. And how beautiful to have a state park in an urban area like this and see it in the middle of a bustling downtown. Give people that sense of, peace and calm. And I love that. I loved our state parks. Also, just what we've done to transform communities and continue the work that was started. $100 million we put in our budget a couple years ago to fill in the northern section of the inner loop. And what has happened to that part of our city, I talk about all over. Say this is what we can be doing in other communities like Buffalo, that are looking at an opportunity to fill some of the holes that were created when people created infrastructure that drove people out of our cities instead of investing in them. So I want you to know how much I brag about this area. And when I was chair of the Regional Economic Development Councils, I came here all the time to celebrate the emergence of new industries and rethinking places like the Eastman Business Park that have been given up for dead a long time ago because people weren't sure of its future. But I'll tell you one thing about the people of the Finger Lakes region in Rochester. You never stop believing in this community. You know you live in a place that is built on the DNA of others who came before with such great vision and the innovation that was created here and the jobs that followed. And so those industries may not last forever in the same form they were before, but if you're ready for them and you embrace them, there's always the new industries of the future that are waiting to be tapped into. And that's why we're talking about semiconductors. That's why we're talking about artificial intelligence here in the state of New York. And this community college, along with our other great academic institutions here, are poised and ready to capture the moment. And that's what I find so exciting about coming here. So I want to talk for a few minutes about how we shepherd in this new era of prosperity, our 2025 budget. It's ambitious, but everything we do is ambitious here in the state of New York. It's a $233 billion plan that does what people thought was impossible. We're raising spending by $6 billion on programs that we believe in, investing in our people, without raising state income taxes. Now, that's hard for some to do, but if you've done municipal budgets a long time like I have, I spent 14 years in local government, balancing it all, not raising taxes, but also making sure we provide services. And also we want to fight the right fights and make sure that people know that we're willing to step out of that comfort zone and maybe the popular zone to do what's right for the people of New York. And it takes courage, but I have a legislature, I have my desire to work with them, and I believe that by the end of this next session, we'll have many, many, many accomplishments that we'll be proud to talk about here. And I want to talk about some of the highest priorities I've had since I took office. We were dealing with a crisis in crime. The amount of crime that went up during the pandemic and immediately in the aftermath, and all over our cities, but also the suburbs and rural areas, people had this sense of unease. And I knew one issue that was really tormenting the city of Rochester was gun violence. And we had many, many conversations about this. So I'm proud to say that after strategic investments and a concerted effort, we've driven down gun violence by more than a third. And we're already off to a good start here. Statewide shootings are down another 25% this January. But we're never going to grow complacent. Never say we're done. We're not spiking the football. And that's why I've invested another $347 million into this whole initiative to keep fighting gun violence in our cities in particular. And what I want to do is deal with other crimes that we have. We have retail theft. Retail theft, people thought for years wasn't a major problem, but guess what? There are gangs out there getting young people to go into stores and sweep the shelves, and then they sell it on online platforms like eBay. So the poor people in retail are getting so ripped off. The small businesses, the mom and pop shops, like the little shop I helped my mom start in the village of Hamburg, a little flower shop, they can't ever trust anymore that when the door opens and someone comes in that they won't be robbed as a result of that encounter. And it's frustrating. And a lot of people who work in these jobs are getting hurt. I want to make sure that we have any assault on a retail worker who's out there exposed without protection, that crime is treated as a more serious crime. So we're protecting our communities, $25 million of a state police detail, and I'm using our state police in ways they've never been used before. I've increased their ranks. I'm deploying them on our streets and in programs wherever I see a problem. So I'm having them focus on connecting the dots on retail theft because it is a statewide phenomenon. Also, hate crimes. Hate crimes are escalating. And I'm talking about anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, but racist crimes are also spiking as well. So there's something happening to the fabric of society. And I want to let people know that we are not tolerating this in the state of New York. That we'll stand up for all of our people, and I'm dedicating $35 million in additional funding to help fight hate crimes. And also domestic violence, one of those more quiet crimes. You don't see it in the streets, but it's still playing out in our communities, in homes, and where people are getting attacked and brutalized by a known partner. And we're dedicating money, $40 million, to help fight the specter of domestic violence in our homes, something my mother and our family were dedicated to for many, many years. And I want to focus on Rochester for a minute. After we had seen the numbers go up a few summers ago and the violent crimes and the shootings in our streets, I literally sat down with the mayor, our chief of police here, and everyone else involved, the district attorney. We had a lot of forums, in person, Zoom calls, and said, what do you need? And the mayor asked for more boots on the ground. We sent state police, literally state police officers walking the streets embedded with Rochester PD to give them the extra help they need. Bring technology, bring license plates readers, whatever you need to solve this problem. I said, we are there for you. And normally the state government would not be involved in local policing issues. I don't know, when we had a former chief of police here, Bob Duffy, I don't think that was the norm. But every city is important to me, people's security is important to me, and I don't care. I will bring the money and resources wherever we can. And so we've been successful, and I congratulate you and this mayor in this county and everyone who's been working so hard. Shootings have dropped almost 30% here as well. Murders have dropped almost 30%, and it's extraordinary. But we have to keep it going. The other area we saw a big spike, and I've been here a lot on crime, but luckily we're seeing better numbers, are the rise in car thefts. And you all know about the TikTok video. We talked about this when I came here. allocate this money. Thank you. And I thank our leaders for caring for kids to give them a better shot in life. Thank you. We're going to look at job training. We're going to look at home ownership. We're going to look at all these possibilities. And when I mention home ownership and homes, these kids need to grow up in a home that is safe and loving and give them the chance that they too can someday grow up and have a home, perhaps in the same neighborhood, in a safe neighborhood. So we talk about affordability issues in the state of New York, and this is top of mind for most New Yorkers. Life has gotten so hard. It truly has. You come out of COVID, you think you're going to be okay, then you get slammed with inflation. And the interest rates go up, even if you thought you were going to buy a place someday, and the interest rates say, no, you're going to have to wait longer, you have to wait longer, you have to postpone the American dream. And we talk about the cost of everything going up in the stores. I think about these little kids, I think about the cost of formula and diapers and the fact that they need a different size sneaker every couple of months, it seems, and they outgrow their clothes. I mean, parents have been hit so hard by the high cost of inflation. But the number one cost for any family is what they're paying for either their rent or their mortgage. Those are the two biggest drivers. And you know what it's driven by? Supply and demand. Real simple, real simple. If you build more housing, if you have more to choose from, it automatically drives down the price. But when you don't have the courage to build and the NIMBYism rules out, as it has in most of our state, all of a sudden there's paralysis. You've not grown. Therefore, those who own the houses and have the apartment buildings, they can charge whatever they want because where else are you going to go? So we're held captive to the lack of supply in our state. I say no more. I brought this up last year. People thought that this was a bad place for a governor to go because it's not going to win you a lot of popularity contests. I'm telling you right now, I don't care about popularity contests. I care about doing the right thing for the people of this state. And what we did by introducing this conversation last year with a lot of naysayers saying you'll never change the status quo. Why are you doing this? The New York Times said I'm the first governor since Rockefeller to even talk about housing because it's so volatile. People are so dug in. Well, guess what? 1 year later, this is top of mind for New Yorkers and our legislature, and I know if we're willing to step out of our comfort zone and just put the naysayers over here and go forth with the courage and the determination that has always defined New Yorkers, I believe that we can be successful. Let's get it done. Let's start building more housing in the state of New York starting right now. And are you with me on that? Are you with me? Because that is what's holding us back. And it's not just our cities. Our rural areas are struggling. Our suburban areas are struggling. We have talking about how we can support rural housing assistance. We're introducing more money for programs there, 1,200 units across the Finger Lakes in rural areas I'm focusing on, but also our statewide measures. We have $25 billion on the table right now that is being spent to build or preserve over 100,000 affordable housing units. But think about what I just said. 100,000 units sounds great, except our state is about 800,000 short. But to get even the 100,000, it costs $25 billion of state dollars. So we need the private sector to step up. We need local communities to do their part. And I'm doing even more this year. I said, okay, let me see what else I can do as the governor. I looked at all the state properties, former prisons, former psychiatric centers, even little spaces next to, parking lots next to a transit station, whatever I could get my hands on. I said, can I put a house there? Can I put housing there? Can I put a project there? So we're dedicating $500 million to build on state property. But again, our assessment says that that'll get me about 15,000 units, which is 15,000 more than I have right now, but it still doesn't give me the scale that I need to solve the problem. So we can't fight this alone. We're asking communities to step up. And what I've done, because last year everybody says, don't tell them they need to build, don't tell them they have to, because no one will like that. okay. They said, we need some carrots. So I did a press conference a couple weeks ago. I found the biggest, juiciest carrots I could find, and I plunked them down on the table. I said, I'm putting carrots on the table because you asked for it. $650 million of carrots. What does that mean? I took all the discretionary state programs I could think of, and I said, okay, communities, if you want to play ball, if you're willing to dedicate yourselves as being a pro-housing community, what does that mean? Well, you have to pass a resolution in your city council, your town board, wherever you do this, county legislature, pass a resolution that commits to housing growth, breaking down zoning barriers, having strategic plans. Show us how you're going to do that, and we'll put you on our pro-housing list. And guess what? At first, there weren't very many. We only had 20. And then all of a sudden, people realize, wait, there's $650 million that's going to go to 20 communities. I want my share. So all of a sudden, we had this spike, and I was so happy to see it. Look at this. I don't know if you can see this very well, but see all those little stars? Some of them have been approved already, the green ones. The other ones just started their applications. We have probably 120 now, just in a couple of weeks, and I still have more space to fill in. These are the communities that have stepped up and say, our employers want their employees to live here. Our families want to raise their kids here. Our first responders want to be able to live in the community that they protect. Our teachers want to be able to afford to live in a community where they teach. That's what we're talking about. That's all this conversation is about. I didn't say what kind of housing you had to build. I didn't say where you had to build it. Just start building. Start building now, and especially, I believe that people coming from other parts of this country where they think, even New York, think nothing of an hour. We are going to be having people who work at Micron living in this metropolitan area, in the Finger Lakes region, who need housing as well. You have an opportunity to lure them here, let them see the quality of life that you have here in the Finger Lakes. But we have to start building and start building fast. So any community that's out there that is not part of this list, you're not going to be eligible for downtown revitalization programs or our Main Street programs or many of our other programs. We put them all together. So if you want to get part of it, step up right now. So as I mentioned those programs, DRI, Downtown Revitalization, New York Forward, I love them both. These are great programs. I've seen communities transform with this. For the DRI, it's a $10 million infusion of money all at once. Now I take, again, my local government experience has defined how I am as governor. I knew how hard it is when I was trying to get something done in our little downtown villages, village of Blaisdell and the village of Hamburg. And maybe you could someday get $50,000 from a Main Street grant. You get $75,000 from a Department of State grant, or maybe some water. It took you forever to amass any volume of money that would make scale look different, make that you could actually transform a downtown. So we said $10 million can change not just the physical structure of a community, but the psychology of a community. And I've seen this all over the state of New York. But I also heard from our smaller communities who says, we love the idea, but we're not participating because $10 million is a lot for us. We're just a little more than an intersection and some little businesses, and we think we matter too. So I said, yes, you do. So we have a program for $4.5 million for the smaller communities, but $4.5 million in a small community changes it forever. So these are areas I'm really focused on. These will be available to these pro-housing communities, and I'm really proud to make some announcements today because we have selected those communities, and proud to announce that this year's $10 million winner goes to the village of Waterloo, the winner of our downtown Waterloo. Stand up, Waterloo. Waterloo is in the house. Congratulations. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Well done. Well, I was there, I was in Waterloo many times. I've voted there, I've docked there. I was there for Memorial Day last year. And they have the National Memorial Day Museum. And don't let any other part of America think that they're the birthplace of Memorial Day, because it's in Waterloo, New York, and only Waterloo, New York. I know that. Good to see you. It's a gorgeous community, tree-lined streets, steeped in history, community arts and center. And I want to thank Mayor Walter Bennett for his plan for a more walkable village. His vision is extraordinary. We've talked about this, and I know he wants to build more housing and have more small businesses and easy access to the Cayuga-Seneca Trail, or the canal, which is so beautiful. So I believe that this is a plan which is going to be extraordinary and transformative. So again, congratulations, $10 million to the Village of Waterloo. Two other smaller communities that truly matter. We're announcing $4.5 million New York Forward Award, one to the Village of Webster. Congratulations, Webster. Please stand up. Well done, well done. And one to the town of Macedon. Macedon in the house. Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you. Congratulations. Now, Webster, you have a lot of work to do because I worked really hard to line up Fairlife's $650 million investment in dairy production, 250 new jobs coming. And I'll tell you how involved I got in this. I knew this CEO out in California was looking all over, Wisconsin, all these other places, and I called him up and I said, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm obviously the governor, but I come from a long line of dairy farmers in Ireland. And I went to visit one summer during college, and I was told by my family, and their deep Irish brogue, that Kathy, you're just not going to make it as a farmer's wife. Because I left the gate open and all the cows left. So I decided I needed a different career than herding the cows. So that all worked out just fine. But I said I love dairy. I represented Wyoming County and many counties around here that are the best. Anybody from Wyoming? There we go. Hi, Cindy. I said, Wyoming County has about 40,000 cows and about 20,000 people or so. And I said, I know all the cows' names when I was a member of Congress. So I know this industry. I know the potential. If you come here and invest in making this a top dairy producing place, they wanted to have the largest dairy production facility in the Northeast. And now they're going to make Webster their home. So in addition to your New York Forward initiative, you're also going to have a chance for explosive growth, and I'm so excited for you. So again, congratulations to Webster. And your event spaces and everything you're going to do is going to be incredible as well. And then last but not least, Macedon. I've been there many times. You want to have a new downtown square and new housing and just really create this sense of community and strengthen those bonds you have there and access to the waterfront. And so I just want to say all three of these communities are just what makes New York State so spectacular. The individual identities of each and the civic pride, and so the elected officials and the community leaders and the business people who stepped up and put these plans forward together. I know there's countless communities. I chaired all these efforts when I was in local government. I know what it takes and the time away from your families to get this done. So I'm so proud of all of you, and you are a model for other communities to do exactly the same. And I know that future generations will forever be grateful for all the work you put in. So congratulations to Mayor Darrell Byerts and also the Town Supervisor Kim Leonard from our two New York Forward communities as well. Let's give them another round of applause. So today, to wrap up, we talked a lot about the dollars, the investments, and talked about this region's path to prosperity. And this area does deserve a great future. It has it in its hands because we talk about the amazing past, the legacy of accomplishment here, the innovation, the smart people that we attracted here or that were homegrown. And this area has always been on fire. It really has. And I want to make sure we never lose that sense of possibility here. So to all of you who never gave up on this region during some really tough times, through some crime waves and through COVID and through the businesses who left and decided to go to other states or even other countries, we are back. We are back stronger than ever, and the future is brighter. And I know because of the people in this room and out there who are so dedicated, so selfless, who love their communities so deeply, that we truly are going to continue our preeminence as the Empire State. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you for being part of shaping New York's history, but also the future. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Let me
the great governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul. Thank you, Governor Hochul, for this commitment. On behalf of a grateful community, I want to thank you for your commitment to upstate communities, particularly Monroe County in the city of Rochester. As the governor knows, I am a broken record, as all of you here know. Every time I talk about our community, I talk about public safety, we talk about public health, we talk about investing in our infrastructure, and we talk about our economy and how we can invest in people and invest in our workforce. And the governor today, with this budget that she presented our community in the state of New York, she is addressing the needs of our safety, our health, our infrastructure, our workforce, and she's particularly addressing long-standing economic and workforce challenges by investing in Rochester and Monroe County. It's time to make these investments, and we are proud and happy and grateful to have the governor's support to make these investments here in our community. So again, Governor Hochul, thank you. And the governor spoke of possibility, the great possibility we have here as a region. And when I hear the word possibility, I also think of optimism. I'm optimistic. Despite the challenges that our community faces, I'm optimistic because we have a state delegation that's fighting for us in Albany. We have a governor who knows upstate New York, who knows the challenges of Rochester and Monroe County, and they're making the right priorities here, and it's time. We know the sobering statistics. Of the 25 poor zip codes in New York State, five of them are here in Rochester. Of the top 5, 3 are right here in our community. It's a challenge we share with our neighbors to the west and to the east, and in fact, when we look at childhood poverty rates, 9 of the top 10 zip codes are in upstate cities. The mayor and I, we joined together this year in advocating for relief dollars to support our families. And I want to thank Mayor Evans for his leadership and his partnership. In fact, this is the first time, I think probably in 2 generations, not just 2 decades, in 2 generations, the county executive and the mayor have teamed up for this community, to fight for this community, to align our priorities, to bring resources back here so we can talk to our delegation and we can talk to the governor of the state of New York and bring these resources here. And I want to thank the mayor because with the mayor's support, we've been able to work with the governor to bring $50 million in temporary assisted needed family supports across the state, but the lion's share of that funding is coming here to the city of Rochester and Monroe County. We're working together as a community to lift our neighbors out of poverty, to put everybody here on the pathway to prosperity. The most immediate action is to give families the tools they need to ensure they can support their family, to build generational wealth, and to connect them to good-paying jobs. The governor has a plan to invest in those good-paying jobs in our workforce and our economy that capitalizes on the recent federal tech hub designation. Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse are on the road to becoming America's semiconductor superhighway. And how do you get on that highway? You take the on-ramp. See what I did there, Governor? I did said the acronyms. The proposed One Network for Regional Advanced Manufacturing Partnerships, this on-ramp, is a workforce development program. 4 sites are going to be selected along the I-90 corridor to host workforce development centers. They're going to work with employers, educational institutions, and governments to build skills, the local workforce, and connect employers with those workers. And I think Monroe County's got a few good locations for that. But this connectivity and development of skilled labor, it's directly in line what we need with the Tech Hub designation. We're going to be developing a semiconductor workforce right here at MCC. In the budget, Governor Hochul is proposing additional funds for the Optical Systems Technology Program, part of the Applied Technology Center expansion at MCC. Dr. Bertnana gives a huge shout out for her leadership here at MCC, and I want to thank Dr. Bertnana. Monroe County is proud to partner with the state of New York to develop this launch pad for students into the good-paying jobs that exist today. As the governor said, these jobs in the optics, precision manufacturing world, they exist right now in Monroe County. And when you connect that to the tech hub designation, the federal resources that are coming, it's going to amplify and magnify that investment right here. And because by New York State and SUNY throwing their full support behind this, they're turning what was once a vision for economic revival into a tangible reality. Because what we have here is special. What Dr. Bertnana is leading here at MCC and our whole community here is special. It's more about building, it's more than building a skilled workforce. It's building a community that's ready for the future. The future, the semiconductor industry, the photonics industry here in the Finger Lakes region, particularly here in Monroe County, is the future. And I want to thank Governor Hochul and SUNY for their investment. As we train our residents, for those jobs of the future and even the jobs that exist today, one thing that you heard in today's budget presentation too is the connectivity. It's something that I kept thinking about as we go through. How do you connect us to those possibilities and those resources? How do you connect the state budget resources to the federal dollars that are coming here, to the county support, and to the city support as well? And it's clear that Governor Hochul is thinking big picture. How do we leverage all of those dollars to move this community forward? And I'm grateful to have her leadership, her partnership, and her commitment to the residents of the state of New York. So the difference here, folks, this year, New York State, they're focused. It's public safety, it's public health, it's investing in our workforce, and it's investing in our infrastructure. And on behalf of a grateful community, I want to thank you again, Governor Hochul, for making these funds available to our region, because I am full of optimism. I believe Monroe County's best days are still ahead of us, and it's because of the partnership of all of you in this room and our friends in New York State. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Governor Hochul, and thank you, Mayor Evans as well. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated for the presentation of the awards. And please welcome to the stage representatives from the Village of Waterloo. The Village of Webster.